Today, we're giving this house a trim. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are trimming out the house. New baseboard, new casing, new crown molding, new backband on all the windows. Today I'm going to show you all my tips and tricks on how I do all my coping, all my miters, all my joints. But first, let's get in the truck, head over to Tamarack Lumber and pick up the material. What is going on, everybody? We just got back to the client's house, just unloaded all the material. So we picked up a 3.5 inch casing and the matching 7.25 inch baseboard. As well, to complement everything, we're going with a 5.5 inch crown molding. I'm going to set up all my saws, get my area ready to go. Let's not waste no time. Let's get to work. So I'm starting with all the room openings. All the room openings are 6 7/8 inch wide. However, the jamb is 7.25. So I'm going to rip down the jamb to 6 7/8. But we don't want to see that sharp, hard edge on our reveal. The material already comes with a soft bevel, so we're going to match it by sanding it down. And after a few seconds of sanding, we now have a soft, rounded corner for our reveal, matching the factory edge. So after I install all the jamb, I'm going to measure and start cutting out all the casing. My clients have chosen to go with a 3.5 inch colonial door casing. You've seen me use CA glue in other videos. I use it on all my miter joints. Wood expands and contracts, and this will prevent the joint from cracking. And I always set my nails with a nail punch. Moving on to the opening between the kitchen and the living room, I add a little CA glue and activator to the miter joint. So sticking with the same profile as the door casing, we are going with a 7.5 inch tall baseboard. No corner in any house is a true 90 degrees, so therefore I cope on my baseboard. In this case, the first piece goes in with a butt end. Now for my next piece, I do set the bevel and cut it at 45 degrees. Now I flip the material over, clamp it down, and cope the miter. Traditionally, you would normally use a coping saw, but in this case, I will use my oscillating tool to cut out some of the material, and the rest of the profile I will then contour with an 80 grit flat disc on a grinder. This only takes a few seconds, and if you have a steady hand, it comes out perfect. Now I have a seamless transition from one baseboard to the other. No need to fill any joints with painter's caulking. Originally the builder installed 4.5 inch tall baseboard, but because we're going with a 7.5 inch, now we run into some interference. Such things as water lines, return air vents, and receptacles. It would be very easy to just notch a hole at the top of the baseboard or let the escutcheon plate from the water line overhang the baseboard. But if you know a little bit of math and a little bit of geometry, this is an easy fix. It is something that is so simple, looks great, even though you may never see it because it'll be hidden behind a toilet, but if you take pride in your work and you know it's there, that's all that matters. I take a few measurements, make a few cuts, put everything together with some CA glue, and install it. Just nail it in place and done. Next, I will be installing the crown molding. It is a 5.5 inch with a standard profile. I'm going to install crown molding in the tray ceiling of the dining room and of the living room. I am installing the crown by myself, but it's not that tricky. You just need to install a ledger board first at one end, so that way you have something for the crown molding to rest on. I've been in many homes, and nothing bugs me more when I see crown molding installed upside down. Yes, there is a right way to install crown molding. The cove always goes on the bottom. So just like my baseboard, I like to coat all my inside miters on my crown molding. First I'm going to measure and cut my crown at a 45, then I will flip it over, clamp it down, and take the material away with the flap disc. Then I'm going to clean up the edge with a little bit of 80 grit sandpaper by hand. And there you have it, tray ceiling with crown molding and a seamless miter joint. Without having the added expense of replacing all the window casing, we're going to add a back band with a similar profile to match all the colonial baseboard and door casing. I use a little CA glue in the miter joints to help reduce any cracking from expansion and contraction.
What is going on, everybody? That is going to be a wrap for today's video. I am done for the day. I'm going to start packing up all my tools. All the trim is done. All the trim took me about 3 days to do on my own, but everything is done, ready for paint. In the meantime, if you like the video, please give it a like, leave us a comment, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. It will really help me out. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you to all my clients and followers for the love and support. And I want to give a special thank you to Linda in Newfoundland who's watching. Thank you so much. How you keeping on? Anyways, everybody, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We'll see you next time. Ciao.